is that, like, what are we going to do in 3 weeks when Trump wins again? What are we going to do?
Well, what we need to do is, well, then if that's where you're coming from, I think that I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I think that as a person, if that's what drives you, I think that that's what you should just focus on every day, and focus on that, making that your goal, making that your message, and promoting yourself in whatever way you can to do that. I already know who I'm voting for. And
Promoting myself? I don't have influence on anybody.
Maybe not now, you don't, but people, unless you're born with connections. Yeah, you're a teacher. That's number one.
They can't vote.
Well, they can't vote. Also, I mean, it's also probably not a good idea to, like, try to politically influence anybody, like your students, but that could be considered indoctrination. However, but unless you're born rich or with connections, nobody has influence, like, when they start out. It's something, and this goes back to my whole point of, like, people.
So why should I not be bitter about people with influence choosing to use it the wrong way?
Well, don't be bitter about it. Get mad and then try to counter it.
Yeah, but what point is there to count?
Because those people didn't start with influence. They didn't, like, they weren't, when they were kids, they didn't have that influence unless they were born rich. But some of these people who you're talking about, they didn't have, like, even the Kardashians, like,
But we're talking like
media, like the platforms, they didn't have that, like, 25 years ago.
We're talking like a 1-ton anvil. We're talking like a 1-pound weight trying to push back against a 1-ton anvil.
Right, because that's where we are now. But
check it out. Bernie had.
I don't think we should just give up because we don't have that kind of weight now. It's a flaw. It's a process.
Well, I don't think we should give up. But my version of doing what I got to do is canceling people who don't. If we're gonna have this cancel culture, my version of doing what I got to do is canceling people who are promoting Trump.
But we've already gone over.
I mean, I guess we disagree. First of all, I don't think Cube is getting canceled. Second of all, I don't think he's promoting Trump.
Well, he's getting canceled by me till he clarifies himself, because there are a lot of young people who are going to vote for Trump because they think he's telling them to. And then when Trump wins, we're all going to be screwed.
You need to pour some money into education then, and pour it into critical thinking, because that is not what he's doing. And last I checked, Killer Mike's endorsement of Bernie did not land a victory. So I don't really know, like.
Yeah, but people
don't really
don't
know how people get so excited about
who Killer Mike is
celebrity.
compared to Ice Cube. Not young people.
Well, Run the Jewels is pretty popular among young people, but
yeah, but they don't know names. They don't know the names of the people in the group.
Well,
you don't know.
I don't know. A lot of people know who Killer Mike is. He's sat down with Bernie many times and whatnot. But my point is, like,
I'm not going into school every day hearing my students talking about who sat down with Bernie Sanders. I am hearing them say, well, maybe Trump's not so bad.
All right, well,
some of them.
I understand.
They can't vote anyway. But
some of them can.
Interesting. Now they can vote.
The 18-year-olds can.
We just had this conversation a couple of minutes ago, and your point was they can't vote anyway.
The majority of them can't vote anyway.
Okay, I got you. My point is these celebrity endorsements don't do as much as people think we do. They just don't.
But the thing is, why should I feel obligated to support somebody who's doing the wrong thing?
No one's telling you to support him. No one's telling you to do that. Listen, this country's been fucked up for a long time. Democrats have been fucking up for a long time. So people are standing up saying, like, show me what you got. And if your boy Biden is not willing to stand up and show his cards, that's on him.
But
not on Ice Cube.
it's not about Biden. Like, the point of Biden wasn't my choice either. But the point is that he is what we have now, and
Yeah,
we
so we need to push him.
we will
We need to
not
push
be
him in the
able to
right direction.
recover from 4 years of Trump, from 4 more years of Trump.
We
Like,
will.
no, we won't. We'll be gone. Like,
We'll still be here, but these people got to step up. They got to step their game up. You know, the Republicans are not doing the right thing. I mean, Biden is allowing himself to be played by Trump in going against the Green New Deal and like not saying no to this whole law and order thing. He's
but
being
now is
played like
not
left and
the
right.
time. Now is not the time
And
for
when?
this.
And when?
When we have a normal person in office. Like, we don't have a normal person in office right now.
When we're in a position where we can't negotiate because Biden is already in office and he wasn't forced to come to terms with black folks with a black agenda, and he got our vote anyway, like the Democrats always do, then you want us to somehow press upon him to come to terms with us when we have
Do you
no
seriously
leverage.
think that seriously think you're going to have more leverage with Trump? Because those are
You're not listening. That's not what I
our
said.
options right now.
You're not listening. That's not even what I said. I made it very clear what I just said. I made it very clear. We're gonna have leverage now if we force Biden to come to terms, not after he's cushy and comfortable and has gotten a victory without even like stepping to the plate and giving us what we want. That's
But
what I'm
he
saying.
needs to win.
Yeah,
We
well, he
cannot
needs to
have
step.
more than.
He needs to step to the plate then.
And what
That's
if he
called
doesn't?
leverage.
What if he doesn't? How many people
If
are
he
going to
doesn't, then he's not fucking worth it.
Then
he's not.
We're going to end up with Trump for 4 more years.
You don't understand the long game. This is why we lose. It's because we don't have a long-term strategy like the Republicans do. We don't understand leverage, and we're not willing to flex our muscles.
We don't have the time for that now, though.
Never have the time. White people are always being told it's not your time, it's not your time, it's not your time. Just sit back and wait. Wait for a better time, wait for a better time, wait for a better time. Now is never the time. Never. It's never the time.
8 years ago, I might have agreed with you, but now our sole focus should be getting rid of Trump.
Yeah, it's always some other time I would have agreed with you, or some time in the future I will agree with you. But what about now? When we
So
need
you're
it
okay?
most?
You're okay
What
with
about
Trump?
now? Don't straw man me or red herring me or whatever you're trying to do. Don't put words in my mouth. If I was okay with it, I would have told you I was okay with it. My words are my words. Biden needs to step to the fucking plate, and he needs to give us what we want so he can get what he wants.
Are we going to have a miraculous third choice to save the country?
If your if was a spliff, we'd be all fucked up. I'm not interested in ifs. He needs to step to the plate and do what we want him to do.
But this is
because
not
that if
an
you're talking
if.
about, we live in that if. We live
This
in
is
that
not
if.
an if. This is a very distinct possibility that Trump could win.
We live in that possibility. We live in the possibilities of the Obama's screwing over immigrants and dropping bombs and drones and cuddling up to Wall Street. We live in the Bidens of the world, supporting the '94 crime bill, and the Clintons, going against quote unquote super predators. Like we live.
It's not, and it's okay for it's okay.
It's not
for
okay.
Trump to call Mexicans an infestation.
You're listen. If you want to put words in my mouth, that's on you. I've been there before, but we need Biden to step up and show that he's worthy, and that's what Cube is trying to do.
Then what are you going to do when nobody steps up? Because Trump sure ain't gonna do it.
Then in 2024, we're going to have to choose someone who's actually worthy. We're going to have to stop capitulating to the middle and stop voting for people who won't even stand up for the Green New Deal, who won't even stand up for Medicare
Yeah, but
for
those
all,
people are not our
won't
choice.
stand
Those
up,
people
who
aren't
won't
our
stand up for
choices now.
reparations.
This country
Yeah,
will
well,
not
that's the problem.
exist in
And
four. No, this country
that's
will
the
not
problem.
exist
It
in
will.
4 years
It will
if
exist.
Trump is reelected.
It will exist in 4 years. It will. It's not going to be pretty, but it's still going to exist. Now, there's a worse problem. Your problem is what happens if Biden gets in there and he has no reason to like defund, choose Medicare for all, choose the Green New Deal, stand up to Wall Street. He has no reason to do any of this because we've just handed him our votes like we always do. That's 8 more years of not fighting back against climate change. 8 more years. And then what's going to happen after 8 years of a Democrat? Sam, what do the voters always do after 8 years of a Democrat in the White House?
Who does not deliver on the promises that he said he was going to do?
It doesn't even matter. After 8 years of a Democrat in the White House, we're going to have 8 years of a Republican in the White House. So, Emily, that's going to be 16 years of inaction. That's what we can't afford. See, that's
But
the
we
long
can't
game.
afford 4 years of Trump.
And we can't afford 16 years of inaction on climate change. Then it's game totally over.
Yeah, but 4 more years of Trump.
You're focused on the short game, and this is again why Democrats lose. This is why Democrats lose. I will see your 4 years, and I'll raise you 16.
This guy is different, though.
Yeah, they're always different. Meanwhile, like we've been like falling to this like centrist bullshit for a long time. We've been kissing up to Wall Street for a long time.
Who cares anymore? We have people are dying.
I do. I care. I care.
Well, people are dying in a global pandemic because this incompetent nincompoop in the White House decided not to do anything about COVID. We could have Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court because
You're
if we reelect
you're
this
thinking
nincompoop.
you're thinking short term. Trust me.
Short term, Amy Coney Barrett is 48 years old. That's 30 years of her on the Supreme Court.
Well, I mean that's what's her name should have stepped down when she had the chance.
But she didn't,
RBG.
and we can't
Exactly.
fix that now.
Exactly, because we don't think in the long term. We think in these 4-year increments. See, that's my point. Is you gotta relax.
We can't afford it this time. I'm not going to relax. I'm not going to relax because the country's going to be screwed. But
it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse if we have 8 years of a centrist followed by 8 years of Republican.
No, this country's not going to exist in 4 years if we have 4 more years of Trump.
I'll agree to disagree with you.
But what makes you think that we would get through 4 years of Trump?
I'll agree to disagree.
No, I want to hear what makes you think.
No, I refuse to argue any longer on this point because we're not making any headway at all. Sam, what do you think?
I want somebody to make me feel better if Trump wins the election. I want someone to tell me that something is going to be okay when this man wins the election.
Nobody can do that.
2024 is all I can tell you.
We won't exist in 2024.
Nobody can do that. You have to be. Listen. I'll be here to emotionally support you when that happens. But I can't make you change how you feel about it. I will just be here to listen. I can't. You know what I mean?
He's gonna win again.
We're gonna fight him tooth and nail whether he wins.
Yeah, we are.
He's done enough damage already.
Emily, okay. I'm going to be here. Listen, just like last time, I'm going to be here for you. We're all going to be here for each other, okay? But we can't, you're asking us to well, actually, what you're asking us to do is to make you feel better. And we like, I mean, you need to tell us what it is that you need from us. Like, that's just like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Someone to tell me I'm not going to be dead in 4 years because of this man.
you're not going to be dead.
You're not going to be dead.
Somebody to tell me that my relatives, that people I care about, aren't going to be deported. Somebody to tell me that my students aren't going to be shot by the Proud Boys. That's all going to happen.
Do the Proud Boys have a big presence in New York City?
They'll show up.
I don't even
I
know.
need somebody to tell me that, like, we're not going to have military tanks when I leave my house because we're called an anarchist jurisdiction.
This is the way the pendulum swings when you play these games that we've been playing. We've been leading up to this point for many years. This isn't an anomaly. These are the games that we've been playing. We need to
and I'm just
change our strategy.
People like me are just gonna have to sit here and watch it for 4 more years.
No, you're gonna have to stand up and fight.
Yeah.
But I have been fighting. I have been fighting.
You're gonna have to keep
I don't
fighting.
see anything.
You're gonna have to keep fighting. That's what you're gonna have to do.
I'm never gonna be a mother. I'm never gonna raise a kid. There's so many things I'm never gonna be able to do when he gets reelected.
That's actually not true. But you know what? I can't go down this road again. Like, that's just a choice that you're gonna make for yourself. And I'll support it. You know, like, that's, as your friend.
Why would I want to bring a Hispanic child into this country under that man?
I don't know. Because you want to be your mother. And Misha wants to be a dad. Like,
because after 4 years, he's going to go through something.
And because
she's going to go through something different.
Why is it worth it to let Trump win? Because he got into office. So his getting into office is basically being like, he wins. I'm not going to have a child.
Yeah,
no.
You're going to let 4 years of Trump determine the rest of your life.
Of the rest of your life?
Yes, there's not going to be a rest of my life.
Yes, there will.
That's not true.
The rest of your.
Because the world's not going to exist.
It might not be what it is now. It might look different. You might have to make some changes, but you don't have to give up on your dream of having a child if that's like you. Not because of this. You can still have a child if you want. If you want, that's your choice. It's your choice. I can't
morally do it, though.
Well, that's going to be your choice, though.
I cannot morally do that under a Trump administration. I cannot do that to a kid.
Okay, you're actually. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what to say that because I feel like. I am not gonna respond to that. I understand that that's how you feel,
but how is it moral to have a child when this man is in office?
I don't know, but honestly, to me, it sounds like you're passing judgment on every person in this country who's had a child in the last 4 years. That's what it sounds.
No, every non-white person who's had a child in the last 4 years.
You're judging. Oh, so you're judging non-white people for having children in the last 4 years in this country. Why are you in a position to do that?
Why? That's their choice. Why should I have to make their choice?
Right. You don't have to make their choice. You can make your own. You can make your own choice.
Their children. They've made a choice to have children, and their children are suffering. What if I don't want that for my kid?
I mean, Jesus.
What if I don't want my kid to be called a stupid spick on the playground?
Stay away from the NYPD then.
I mean,
I was with or without Trump.
yeah. Trump didn't, yeah. Trump didn't just suddenly like get into office and make it okay for everyone to be a racist. That was
Yeah,
happening.
he kind of did.
No, racism existed before he got
Of
into
course
office.
it existed, but people kept it to themselves.
No,
Not always. Certainly
Much
not the
more
cops.
often.
Not the cops, that's for sure.
Well, definitely not the cops, but like, tell me, 4 years ago, when Obama was still in office,
Trayvon,
were white supremacist
Eric
gangs,
Garner,
were white supremacists running around shooting people?
yeah, Trayvon, Eric Garner,
But those
Sandra
weren't
Bland,
organized groups like the Proud Boys.
organized groups.
KKK.
Yes, they were organized groups. They certainly were organized groups.
So you're saying that the KKK shot all these people and killed all these people?
The cops are pretty organized.
well, Trayvon Martin wasn't killed by a cop, but
Right, he wasn't. He wasn't. The rest of them were.
Well, sure, yes, that would be a problem regardless. I'm not gonna dispute the fact that the cops are a problem regardless. The cops are like the biggest criminal gang in the country, if you ask me. But I'm talking about ordinary citizens who think that they need to like arm themselves to protect themselves against people who aren't like them. I'm talking about people
Citizens like the one who killed Trayvon Martin.
yeah, I'm talking about like the George Zimmerman.
Yeah, that was during the Obama administration.
I know that was under Obama, but you don't feel like they've multiplied?
I mean, no argument with you there, but I mean, you're acting like, we didn't live through the Bush administration. You're acting like, this can't happen again if we keep playing these games that we're playing.
Here's my point, though. Bush was willing to concede power if he lost. Trump
Ice Cube has been through a lot more of this than you have. And, he's been through it like,
when have we ever had
upright and center? Like,
when
maybe
have
you
we
should just
ever
like
had
have
a president
a little bit more faith.
When have we ever had a president in our lifetime that has outrightly said that they'll refuse to leave office if they lose?
I'm just telling you that we've been through a lot more shit than Trump. And if someone is willing to get a candidate to like come to terms, then that's what it takes. It takes someone who is willing to fight a hard fight.
we've actually been through, this country's actually been through far more turbulent times. The worst thing about it has been the pandemic, about his presidency. Unquestionably, that has been devastating. That's been devastating. But there's been so much that our country has gone through.
That and ICE and
wars,
the children in cages.
Yeah, exactly. Children in cages that are happening right now. Wars. Our country's been through
ICE.
war. Our country has been through massive, we had to abolish. We had to go to war and abolish slavery. We had to women didn't have the right to vote until 100 years ago.
Have we ever had a president who refuses to cede power and facilitates a coup?
We've had some illegal wars that have cost million lives.
Not while I've been alive.
Has there ever been a president in U.S. history who has refused to leave office when their term is up?
Yeah.
See my point? We can't allow this man.
He hasn't.
But he
hasn't done it yet.
He hasn't done it yet. He also won't be allowed to. So
how do you know that?
Because the generals have already spoken on the fact that they're not going to allow that to
They're
happen.
not. Yeah, if he
And he can't just change the rules in the next 4 years. We won't end up with
he would
Ivanka.
need next 4 years. He would have to do it in the next 3 weeks.
If he wins, he can change the rules in the next 4 years.
Yeah, but if he doesn't, they're not going to let him stay past January 20th.
Oh, I don't dispute that, but
Our leaders also could stand up to him and like
what if he wins?
filibuster him every chance that they get as well. They could play by like the same rules that the Republicans have played by and just like shut shit down, you know? They could do that.
Well, and I don't disagree with you, but like, you don't think we're not going to have a Republican majority Senate again?
We've got to start like fighting for what we want. That's my point. My point is we can't like make excuses and say now is not the time, because that's why we are where we are now.
But the point is that like, what am I gonna do? Nothing.
Your fear will not save you. It won't.
People are gonna. My vote doesn't even count.
I don't know what to tell you.
Like,
stand in solidarity with your comrades and fight. Keep fighting. That's what we do.
yeah, and it's what I have done for 35 years, and I don't see anything yet.
Keep fighting. Keep fighting until you do. Like I said,
I haven't seen it by now. It ain't happening.
Well, not with that attitude. Definitely not. Definitely not. You gotta keep fighting.
Well, I'm glad everyone else is so optimistic. I'm gonna be realistic.
If that's what you call realism, that's fine.
Like, I know how these people are.
I don't know. I don't think your message of pessimism is going to like make anything right.
Well, no, but I don't think doing anything is anymore either.
Well, you got a very zen attitude about it then. Maybe meditating for you is the only answer. And, you know, honestly, like, not everyone has to come to the same conclusion. Some of us will fight, some of us will meditate. We'll do different things. Maybe, like, we need that, like, calming presence of, like, someone who's just, like, had enough, where they're just gonna, like, sit still and just, like, you know.
But it's like, why should I have to spend 15 minutes on the phone with a social worker trying to get my child out of a case? Why? Like, when I know it's not going to do any good.
Because America is still a young, fucked up country with a lot of potential and a lot of turbulence.
Like, why do I have to put myself on the line to see my kids getting arrested, to see my kids getting thrown in jail?
Because we have to be willing to sacrifice to get what we want. And we can't like cede power so easily. You know, you can't like, you know, let the powers that be like dangle a tiny carrot and say like, this is all you get. Like sometimes you have to like sacrifice so you can get more.
But I've been sacrificing for years. And this is still happening.
Yeah, it's not enough. Now we have a better plan in action.
I don't see any plan. If the plan is elect Trump for 4 more years and let everything burn, then sure. But
There's a lot more. We've got truth and reconciliation, we've got reconstruction, reparations, defund, abolition, getting rid of cash bail systems. We've got a lot of action in place. A lot of good people.
lots of luck getting support
that
for
have
that from Middle America.
already we've already gotten those people in office. It's not luck. Those people already exist. I'm talking about like Jamal Bowman, Mondaire Jones. Like I'm talking about like people all across the country who have been put in positions of power to advance this
And
agenda.
would people in Fargo, North Carolina be voting for these people? I don't think so.
Okay. And like I said, it takes patience. And these people are already elected. These people are already elected and are already implementing good measures. So like you can't like take that away from them.
But what if the Republican beats Jamal Bowman? What if the Republican beats AOC?
He's already in office. He's already won.
No, he hasn't. The general election hasn't happened.
Yeah, but what if? Like, what kind of attitude is that? Listen, if your attitude is going to be like that, just like sit it out, like sit in the sidelines. We don't need that kind of like negative energy. Like it took like a lot to like fight to put these people like in a good position. Like this whole like what if, like that's not helping.
But it's just for them to get outvoted by people from Trump country.
Jamal Bowman's not in Trump country.
No, but he'll go to Washington and get outvoted by all the people coming from, like, the middle of nowhere. Like, do we really think that one person
It's not
is
one
going to fix
person.
things?
There are handfuls of these people across the country.
And then why are we still going to end up with Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court?
That's a different person. We're talking about different things. I mean, you already know the answer to that. You know how the Supreme Court votes work.
I know the answer to that, but when she's on the Supreme Court, is the opinion of people who didn't want her there going to be listened to? No.
Listen, our people are going to continue fighting. That's what we do. We're going to continue fighting. We're going to continue bringing victories, and we're going to continue improving situations. And sometimes we have to make big leaps in order for like real change to occur.
But at the expense of like
Yes, at the
potentially
expense.
making
Yes.
it worse.
Yes.
How can you be so assured that? How can you
At
be
the
so assured?
expense, because
How can you
it
be so
takes.
assured that you'll fix it though? If you make it worse,
There are no assurances. There are no assurances. You fight for like, I mean, when abolition of slavery was like occurring, were there assurances? When we were trying to like get people off of the plantation, were there assurances that you wouldn't be caught and like have your foot cut off and like ruin the rest of your life? Like, no, there are no assurances.
but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about
Sure
is what if
It's exactly
what
what
if
you're
the
talking about.
Confederacy had won the Civil War?
I don't deal in what ifs.
Well, we better start.
No,
Because
I'm good. You seem to have that on lock. I'm not dealing in what ifs.
then 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 what's the contingency plan? If you don't deal in what ifs, you don't have a plan for when things go wrong.
I mean, I've told you, like, we got to keep fighting. We got to keep, like, we're changing. Like, first of all, we've changed the national conversation. You know, like 5 years ago, I couldn't like go into some random bar and talk to some random white person about white supremacy and not be considered some kind of militant person. Now it's like something that everyone understands. You know, not
Then why is
everyone,
that
but like
not
a lot
being
of people.
reflected in who's chosen to represent us?
It is being reflective. You're just being negative about it. You're just being negative about it. Like, just like, you know, if you're not gonna be part of the solution, then just like pull out.
Then why is Trump president?
Then why? Like, I don't. Trump is president because we did not have a plan. Because we think in terms of the short term. Do you know how long Roger Stone has been trying to get Trump as president? He's been begging him for decades. Republicans have a long-term plan. Democrats don't. Democrats think in terms of 4 years. What can I do now? What lesser of two evils can I vote for now? What can I get now?
Then
That's
how
a
can
problem. That's a big problem.
But I'm not understanding how the same people who are having these conversations about systemic racism are also people who voted for him.
No, it's not the same people. It's not, it's not the same people. That's the other half of the country.
Yeah, well, then the other half of the country is louder, and they're the ones with all the guns.
Yes, they're louder, and they have a long-term plan, and they stick together. Yeah, these are things that we have to deal with.
But the thing is, they're like, while we're here, like, diddling around trying to come up with a long-term plan, they're killing people. They're harassing people.
Yeah, well, that's been the story of, this is the story of America. They've been doing that the whole time. So's Great Britain, so's Belgium, so's France.
So we're willing to sacrifice a few lives to make a long-term plan?
Yes, absolutely. Got to.
Then how do you morally decide who those people are going to be? How do you sleep at night?
This isn't something I'm going to be able to like tell you. You just like, it's not something you're going to be able to get. Like there is no like, cookie cutter answer for that sort of thing.
Is every person who died of COVID worth it because people were diddling?
So what's your solution then?
Have somebody who's competent enough and won't friggin' throw out the global pandemic playbook.
Okay, and then what?
And then we discuss these things when we're allowed to go back to normal.
There's no discussion once he gets into office. It's going to be business as usual. He's going to placate all of his Wall Street funders and the same people that he's talking to when he's saying fuck the Green New Deal, and when he won't go against law and order and all that stuff. Those people are going to be in his pockets. Those are the people that helped put him there, and we the people will have no leverage whatsoever.
We're not going to have any leverage with Trump either, though.
Okay, so then fight like hell to get the other guy elected.
What other guy?
Biden.
Well, we don't have a third guy.
Biden. Fight like hell to get Biden elected.
That's exactly the point. And I don't think that people are helping.
Well, what are you doing to help?
Well, there's not much I can do other than vote.
That is not true. That is not true.
I don't have money.
Okay. Sam, what do you got besides money
What do I have besides money?
that you can do to get Biden elected?
Use whatever platform you have, social media.
Okay.
Try, like reaching out, calling your local politicians, calling the representatives, voting, organizing rallies or get-togethers or like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can join a few. You could be doing like 8 hours of phone banking a day
And you can
to
join.
help him get elected.
Calling people who've already decided to vote for Trump and nothing's going to change their minds.
No, that's
Emily,
not how phone banking works. What are you talking about?
Emily,
That's not how phone banking works.
Of hopelessness. You are in despair right now, and you are arguing with us because you want us all to be on the same page and admit that we're screwed. I can't do that. I can't go there with you.
But
I love you. I really love you, but I'm not going to go there. I can't abandon that because there's a very real possibility that he could get elected again. It's 50-50 because there's two people running at this point. I can't just abandon everything and give up on life or be in a place, and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I can't get into a mindset where I'm going to not continue to try and make myself happy and help other people as well because this guy got elected. I can't like stop. I can't stop trying to like be. I can't stop like I can't put my life on hold. I won't do it. I won't let him do it.
But how is it putting my life on hold to say that that there has to be a contingency plan? Like, how is it?
Well, I'm not.
Contingency plans are good.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Joey.
Pretty good. Sorry to interrupt whatever discussion was going on.
It's all good.
All right.